Right then, evening all.
Hello.
So many people in the comments already. I've just been having a quick flick through. Lots of our patrons and members. So lovely to see all you guys here, and lots more people too. So if I went and said hello to everyone, I think we wouldn't start going to questions till about 8 o'clock.
So it'd just be like a normal live
So let's Sean was here, can you believe this, at nearly 20 to 5, just to say, might have to say this, but if you have a question, please start it with right then. Yes, if you've got a question, make sure you put right then or question before that, so it stands out, because as you can see in the comments, people are chatting amongst each other, which is brilliant to see, but it's hard to pick up the questions, isn't it, Pauline?
Not for me, because I'm not in charge of the scrolly thing, because I'm not qualified enough.
But everyone's saying hello. And let's see where the first question is. And the first question is Patrick and Francis. It's lovely to see you guys here. So right then, question. Have you heard any news where the Queen Anne food service and other issues from the maiden cruise have been resolved? We're hearing that things are improving, that staff are tending to gel, but we're still hearing that there's still quite a few teething problems, aren't we? So for those of you that are new to our channel, hi, and we're Paul and Carole, and those of you that have been watching our lives for a long time, then you know that we're doing a series about Queen Anne. So do check that out. It's a series of ups and downs, isn't it? The maiden voyage has really made us think about whether we would do another maiden voyage.
It has. What I will say, which we do know, is they've already backpedaled on the big band night.
Yes.
Now, we were categorically told by a reputable source, a member of one of the orchestras on Queen Anne, that they were trying to get away from the ballroom dancing side. They're trying to move Cunard forward on this particular ship. If you want the ballrooms and you want the big band, then you go on one of the other three. And we were told in no uncertain terms, and I even said to this gentleman, well, having looked at the stage from above, there's not enough room for 10 musicians and 2 singers. And he said, no, there isn't. Just by the second cruise, they've already changed their mind. And they had a big band night. And because they made this decision that they weren't going to have a big band night and they were going to have a dance floor that wasn't conducive with ballroom dancing, as in it's not the right shape, because it's shaped a bit
it's like a moon,
like a shell, like funny moony, whatever type thing. It's not an oval like a racetrack, which is what it needs to be for a ballroom dancing. Because they then backpedaled, 4 or 5 of the members of the band had to sit on the dance floor, which meant, yes, you got your big band night, but what is already a dance floor half the size of all the other queens was made even smaller. So
I guess they're listening to feedback.
Yeah, it's great that they're listening to feedback, but the trouble is now they can't change the Queen's Room on Queen Anne. That is there now in stone, unless we're talking a major multi-million-dollar refit. And within 1 week, instead of sticking to their guns, they've already gone all wishy-washy and changed their mind. So it's a bit sort of like...
Yeah, you could say that, but I guess people are saying the reason you go onto Cunard is for these things. I think Cunard's vision is to take this ship is a lot more modern and to do different things. But if the passengers, that's their demands. So I guess, I don't know, it's going to be very interesting to see over the next 6 months how Queen Anne develops.
Well, I want a G32 nightclub on Queen Anne. What are they going to do about
Well, that's never going to happen, is it? Because we haven't got one on Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria.
No, totally.
But yeah, so hopefully Patrick and Francis answering your question that things do seem to be improving. I think it's the staff are working together. The staff are getting more experience because there was a lot of new staff, but it's still early days, isn't it? It's still sort of only is it 5? About a month in. So it will definitely be interesting to see, and we will be watching that space closely. So so hopefully that's answered your question. So let's see. Chris Moran, not our cousin Chris Moran, says, thank you, Paul, for getting back to me this afternoon in response to my question. No problem at all. So that's no problem whatsoever. So let's have a look next. Dawn is here. So Dawn Dave saying, hello. Oh, spent yesterday and today fighting with the Princess app for up-and-coming cruise at the beginning of July. Hope it's not going to be like this on board, else I shall be having a Paulie rant.
Yes, we love a Paulie
Well,
rant.
a few of our patrons have just been on Sky Princess and had a great time on a 5-day cruise, and they said that there were still glitches with the app. It was working well, for some, but not for others. So I think it's just an ongoing thing, isn't it, with the Princess app? It never seems to be completely glitch free. However, a lot of the time it does work. So yeah, it's a difficult one. We had issues on all our cruises, haven't we, with the app?
Definitely.
But we're looking forward to be back on Princess again next year on our group cruise. Which, talking about our group cruise, I'm getting a lot of messages saying, I hear your group cruise is close to booking. It's not. If you go to our website, our group cruise 2025, which is next May. All right, mate, getting emotional.
Rub cream in my eye. Why did I do that?
Silly. So, if you do still want to join us on our Sky Princess 2025 group cruise, then please do check that out.
Which, how exciting. Sorry to interrupt you, but how exciting. It seemed like that when we announced this, it was 400 years ago, it seemed like. And now it's less than a year away. How exciting is that?
And we've also announced our Patreon cruise as well. We're doing one in 2026 with just a patrons and members only. So if you want to know more about that, then obviously check out our Patreon and YouTube membership. So let's see what the next question is. Everyone's saying hello to each other. So we've got, let's see, can you see the next question, Paulie?
I haven't got any, they're just all chatting.
They're all chatting.
Well, should we go and watch half an hour of Chicago PD?
So Andy and Carl are asking, right then, of all the cruises you've booked in the future, which one are you looking forward to the most? Oh.
The trouble is, I'm not allowed to say anything because I don't know what you know, because I don't pay attention. And I think everybody
all the patrons know of our future cruises. I think what I'm really looking forward to in the future, which we've told that we're doing as well, is Gary's group cruise. Gary Bembridge, Tips for Travellers. We're a great admirer of Gary, and he's just he's one of the reasons why we started our YouTube channel and went down the route of travel vlogging.
I think if he sticks at it, he's going to be a decent blogger at some point, to be honest.
He's fabulous. So I'm really excited to go one on his group cruise, to obviously see it from the passenger's point of view, because we've got our first group cruise coming up next May, and just also to meet him. And also there's lots of our patrons and people that we know online that are going on that cruise too. So for me at the moment, that is the one that excites me most. And we're back in Canada, and we just love Canada. I've been looking at today how we can get back
Well, I know we can get back there.
Well, I know again, but when? Because I want to get back to Calgary and do that bit where it's a little bit more snowy. So Kevin Austin, I will be picking your brains, and hopefully we can get to meet up again, because that was awesome, wasn't it?
Well,
so we're off to Canada, but it's the other side with Gary's. We're back on Celebrity, which we really enjoyed our Celebrity cruises, which I'm happy about. We're back on Celebrity Eclipse, which we did it about many years ago. We did a 4-day cruise,
at least 10 years ago,
and we're going round obviously from Boston but to Quebec. So we're doing the East Coast. So that's really, really exciting. So let's have a look at whatever questions we have got. Oh, Anne's here, Anna and Mike. Paulie Panda enjoyed his first cruise and safely back home with his new friends Rudy, Scaggy and Stanley. Anne was one of the ladies that was on the 5-day Sky Princess, and she can't help herself but buy cuddly toys. So if you did want a Paulie Panda, we've got those in our shop, so you can check that out. But she also bought 3 more, which I'm sure Mike's over the moon, Anne, isn't he, with all your cuddly toys. Where are you going? Buzz off. So I was going to get Paulie Panda. Yeah. So there he is. So that's fab. David Webster saying, "Have it all around this time of Saturday. We'll be heading out on our own to Norway for a week." Or Norway. We just love Norway. So have a fabulous, fabulous time. Joe's looking for some inspiration for Christmas this year. Ocean or river cruise? I always really quite fancy a Christmas markets river cruise. We haven't done that yet, have we? So if that was me, I would be thinking. But any ship at Christmas that's decorated up is pretty special, isn't it? Because
we've only done one Christmas cruise
when we were actually on Christmas, which was Azamara. Yeah. But we did go on Queen Elizabeth in December, and it was Cunard ships. But actually Azamara was beautiful, yeah. But Queen Elizabeth was just spectacular. I think we came to about 35 Christmas trees, didn't we, when we were going on the ship? Cunard just Azamara was lovely, but Cunard ships at Christmas are pretty special. Right, so let's see. Gosh, so many people here, so many people saying hello, hello, hello. Kathy's here. So lovely Kathy. So Kathy was with us on the Maiden cruise, and we had a great week, great fun. it's put you off of Maiden again, but definitely would go back on Queen Anne. I think we feel the same, don't we?
She was a bit of a troublemaker, Kathy, wasn't she? There was
She
lots of things that went wrong seemed to centre around Kathy. I think everything would have been fine.
We had such a good laugh.
We did.
So, but I totally agree. Queen Anne is a very different ship for Cunard. But it's a beautiful ship, and they are trying things differently. I really would like to go back on in about a year's time to see it all really bedded down and on an itinerary, obviously, that we want to do. But my maiden cruise, it really has made us think that, because we paid a lot of money for Queen Anne, didn't we? We paid what, £1,660 each, which is more than that cruise would be on offer now.
Yeah.
And you know, when you think about that, you pay over the top.
And that was no drinks, by the way.
No, and that drinks on top. So yeah, it has put us off a maiden cruise for sure. So let's have a look. Oh, Penelope's here and saying she's looking forward to a 3-nighter on Ambition. We definitely want to get on Ambassador, don't we? Because we want to try them, but nothing's working with our dates at the moment.
There was one that came up, which was exactly the sort of thing we wanted to do with length, etc., etc., but it was the wrong dates.
Yes, it was. And Striker Maguire's here. In your opinion, would you say service on Britannia is better than Avia? Well, we can't say, Striker, because we haven't been on any of those ships. We've been on Iona and we just got off Aurora, which we loved. But we must admit, on both the Iona and Aurora, the service was very efficient and very good. But P&O service to us is a little bit impersonal, isn't it? They don't take the time to ask your name or get to know you. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's great. If you're a person who does extra tipping, I find P&O a great cruise line because you don't tip anybody, because you don't know anybody. Literally, somebody comes up, they don't even ask you if you want water or anything. They come up and they're sort of pouring water, and then would you like a? And everything's efficient. I must admit, I felt Aurora was definitely better than Iona service-wise, which is, the irony of this is nothing to do with this question.
No, but P&O.
But P&O as a rule, it's just a bit bland. It's a bit beige. I find the service. It's efficient. We've had far worse service on ships without a shadow of a doubt. But it's not the service that we would come to expect. Like we always get on Morella and we always get on Cunard. We always remember.
Always had got on
Cunard before Queen Anne. Every other cruise we went on, by day 2 or 3, you would know almost up into double figures what you let's go and see so and so, our favorite waiter, or let's go and see so and so. If you tied me to a chair, I'm not going to say wet. I did say wet lettuce before.
You did say wet lettuce.
If you tied me to a chair and hit me with a banana skin, I couldn't name you one single waiter that we've encountered on all of our P&O cruises.
No, and that's true. And we normally come away with we remember them, don't we? So and we do additional tipping, but yeah, that's a very good point. Sue saying, evening to you too. I'm so excited to go to Liverpool to watch the naming ceremony of Queen Anne and going on her in October to see Northern Lights. Yes, I think is it next week that the naming ceremony is in Liverpool?
I do find it as well. I don't want to. I am going to have a little bit of a moan. It's like, so we paid like big bananas to go on the maiden cruise, and we don't even get the naming ceremony thrown in.
No.
It's like, I don't understand.
It's weird. They always do that,
and it's not a Cunard thing. No. I don't understand why a ship's been sailing for X amount of time, 2 months, 3 months, and they have a naming ceremony. Surely the people who pay all the big bucks, because I bet you the naming ceremony cruise isn't as much as we paid for ours.
I don't know. We'd have to have a look. So like the part saying, question, when's your next cruise? Well, interestingly, we were invited on a press trip by a certain company, and we're still waiting on confirmation details of it. And if that all comes through, that will be our next cruise, which if it does, we should be announcing over the next couple of weeks, won't we, Pauline?
We will. But we don't want to announce it yet until we
I want confirmation first.
We're going to look like a couple of silly billies if we say we're doing this and then
then we don't.
We're still doing our live, and you'll be saying, "Oh, shouldn't you be in so and so now on so and so?"
Yes, exactly. David's asking, have I missed Carole's expert singing on a short, or is it an upcoming experience? Oh yes. Do you know, I've got this is I've got notes everywhere here, all the stuff that I need to do, and that is on one of the notes.
Because
I don't know if I want it to go out.
Unbelievably, it was in the second episode, But unbelievably, was it a second episode or first episode? It's in an episode of the Queen Anne.
First, because
Yeah,
it was
that's already gone out.
because the copyright had to take it out, didn't
But
I?
her singing was so good that it sounded exactly like she was in the Monkeys. Well, it sounded like a monkey anyway. But so we had to take it out. But obviously, we can put it on a little short. So yeah, I'll get on that.
Paul's off racing again the weekend, aren't you? So you're going to be busy,
busy
doing that, and I'm going to be at home in my garden. I've been to I've got a great friend, Kate, and we've been out to the garden centre today having some lunch, and I've been buying lots of plants that I can plant up on the weekend. So I'm excited about that. And the weather looks good, doesn't it? The weather looks like it's brightening up, so that's good too.
So because I'm organised, the racing don't start till Saturday, but I've already taken my camper to the track because it's about an hour away, but it's going to be probably the biggest meeting of the year so far. So get the camper in the position you want. We've already got our gazebo trackside, and then I just got to sort my car out tomorrow and head over there.
And you had a very good...
And maybe try a couple of ciders.
Try. The weekend, you had a very emotional racing weekend,
We did, because it was a friend of mine, Bish, who passed away last July. He was only a couple of years older than me.
82.
Read the room.
60.
I'm doing a nice emotional post.
Sorry.
And then you go and do that. See how I made her backpedal then? I'm sorry. But his wish was that his ashes should be spread on our local track, which his parents was a founding members of in the 1960s. So Radford Autocross Club, which is the club I'm in, he has raced with that club since he was a boy, but his mum and his dad all, they started it all with some other people. So it's been a massive part of his life, all of his life. And then they took him for one last lap in one of the race cars. And then they sprinkled his ashes on the start line, it was lovely. It was a really, really nice thing to be part of.
Yeah, so let's get to the next question. And also we've got 2 announcements, haven't we, of some recent milestones.
Well, we had an announcement last week, and then when we finished, we were sat on the sofa saying, "No, we didn't say about that thing."
No. So now you can't see this, but there's a peg on the laptop with a reminder because we get so involved, don't we, in the questions and stuff, we forget what we're going to announce. Anyway, that'll be coming up very shortly. But let's go to a couple more questions at the moment. So Island Collector's just asking, right then, would you still classify the Queen Anne an ocean liner, or is it more like a cruise ship?
No, it's not.
It's not an ocean liner.
There's only one ocean liner, and that's Queen Mary 2. None of the other Cunard ships are ocean liners either. Queen Mary 2 is currently the only ocean liner on planet Earth that is in operation.
Exactly.
So it's not meant to be an ocean liner, and it's a totally different. Queen Mary 2 is built totally different.
So about the hull,
and we're very honoured to have met Stephen Payne, who designed the Queen Mary 2.
Yes.
And he also told us why, if you ever go on the Queen Mary 2 and you try and find the Queen's room, it is a bit of a task because it's at the back of the ship, not in the middle of the ship where it is on all the other Cunards. So he told us why, and he explained why. So if you go onto one of our videos where we're talking about the Queen Mary 2, he puts a massive long comment and he explains why it's done. And it's all about weight distribution, and because the hull's different than all the other ships, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Penelope's saying, right then, don't forget to put the thumbs up. So, thumbs up. No. So Alison's asking, Alison Mott saying, right then, what would be a good time of year to take a British Isles cruise? Enjoy your channel. You all put me in a good mood. Oh, thank you so much. That's great to hear.
I mean, what time of year is best for weather in no time of year is that?
I would say if I was going to do it, I'd do it between May and September because the chances of having good weather is better, but you never know in the UK. So I would pack accordingly for any weather that you might get. But if I was going to do around the British Isles cruise, I would do it during that time, wouldn't you? I'd probably avoid school holidays because we prefer to have a cruise that's got less children on, only because obviously Lucas is grown up now and we don't want to.
Yeah, we do. Kids, but we couldn't eat a whole one.
No. So that would be the months that I would say. Kevin's put a link here to all our fab merch. If you want to just check out our shop, then please do. So thanks for that, Kevin. So Lionel saying, fantastic film for me both again. I hope your Cunard cruise great. Was it worth the money? No, it wasn't. Not what we paid, but there's more. Make sure you're watching our vlog series because there's it's a roller coaster of emotions for us, wasn't it, that cruise? Because there was lots of highs and it's a beautiful ship, but there were also lots of lows, weren't there, as well, which was sad. And our episode 2 is out now, so have a check. If you haven't watched this, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and watch that. And this one that's coming out tomorrow is this. And we just had a disaster, didn't we? Which is just which is such a shame. Look at your face. So
what's really scary about that picture, that's just my normal face. That's my normal resting face. Mr. Grumpy Paulie Morgan.
Oh, so let's have a look. So
get rid of that.
I know I've gone past the place. I can't find it. Let me get back to the banner. So yes, so make sure you do check that out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I have to go back there. Look, Paulie.
Oh, that's amazing.
Where is it? Oh dear. Right then, there we are. So Nick said, talking of your merch, my husband loved his bucket hat. I love the bucket hat. It was brilliant for Cambodia, wasn't it, Paulie? Because it was so hot, and it's a 50 SPF as well. So that's good. So Julie's saying, hi guys, question, when are your Japan vlogs coming out? We are doing a land-based Japan holiday next year, so really interesting to see these.
It should be out just before you go next year.
No, it's not. We've got I was hoping to get Queen Anne done in 4 episodes, but there's just so much to say.
So much going on.
There's going to be 5. So it's going to be out in about, our first Japan will be out in about 3 to 4 weeks' time. We're doing our Japan series, and then we're going to do our Aurora, and then obviously the cruises that we're going to go on from then. So Deborah's saying, hi Paul and Carole, would you recommend the Morella voyage? We're looking at booking it for 2026. And what date are you on the Sky Princess next year? We've got it booked 17th of May. That's our group cruise date. So we will see you on board, but obviously because you haven't booked the group cruise, you won't be able to be involved in all our activities that we're going to be doing with everyone that's booked through Dan. But obviously, if we see us, then obviously we'd be delighted to say hi. Isn't it?
We won't. We'll have security. We're going to be like Justin Bieber walking around the ship, surrounded by burly bouncers.
We have got 2 big ones coming with us, haven't we? 2 big ones, Tony and Lucas. So yes, so we will see you on board, and obviously we can say hi. So Nick's just saying, right then, hope I didn't ask this last week. Do you ever go on a cruise and just go on a holiday, or do you always intend to vlog? Love the channel and the effort you put in. Oh, thanks, Nick and Tracy. We go on holidays and pick the holidays because they're the ones that we want to do. And some of them that we haven't done vlog series, we haven't vlogged at all, have we?
No.
So we do sometimes make that decision. However, we've got now in quite a good routine of being able to do our work and get that all done and dusted, and then just take pictures and little video snips as we go along. So it doesn't feel like work.
It's not too intrusive.
No.
It's like when the Asia trip, which was 7 weeks, the first 2 weeks of that, we're not going to blog it.
No.
We did
pure holiday.
We did some Instagrammy type, oh, look, I've had another curry and another bottle of Singer.
Yes.
But other than that, there was... all it was Instagram and Facebook. So
we'll always do social media.
Just what anybody that does Facebook and Instagram would do if they were on holiday. But and
then the 2 weeks in between, we did our Mekong River cruise, which our vlog series is available for that if you want to watch that, which was absolutely incredible. And then we did our 2 weeks in Cambodia and Vietnam, and we didn't vlog that. But then we vlogged obviously the Japan bit. So for the 7 weeks, actually, we only vlogged 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 episodes.
So we do try and get that balance, and it works well, doesn't it, Paulie?
It was. I think it's a Depeche Mode song. Get the balance right. I might be wrong. I don't know. Somebody will tell me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Gillian's been controversial here for all you Canadian. I honestly think the East Coast is better than the West. Ooh, let's see your answers in the comments. So Tina's here. So let's see, Tina's asking, right then, have you been to Norway at the beginning of the season? Would love to go and see all the snow. We haven't at the beginning, but we've been at the end. We went in October. And the Northern Lights, and it's fabulous. We've seen quite a bit of sun. We had really good weather to start, but as we got up to Honningsvåg and around there, we seen snow, didn't we? And it was fabulous. So yeah, it can be quite rainy and wet and drizzly as well as snow when you go out of season, but and the visibility that you see with all the beautiful fjords and that is obviously not so good. But there's something quite special about cruising in the cold.
You don't mind the cold, but like we went there once, and was it Mold we went to, which I believe is where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is from, the former Manchester United player and manager. And they were doing a bus into town, and it was raining so heavy that when we got into town, the queue to get back on the bus... Mold, that's what I said.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Didn't you say Mold?
Mold. And the queue to get back on the bus was 7 miles long, so we didn't get off. We stayed on, and then people were getting on and looking at us saying, yeah, you can get off now. It's like, no, you're all right, mate. And they wouldn't let anybody stand up on the bus. So people got on, and once the seats were filled, anybody that was still on there, the bus driver made them get back off into the rain. So we spent about 28 minutes visiting Mold and never got off the bus.
Well, you couldn't see anything, could you? Because it was pointless. You just
it was a bit drab, as I recall.
Well, because of the weather.
No, I think the town was a bit drab as well, though. It wasn't like a Norwegian-y type. It could have been.
It looked very modern.
It could have been anywhere.
It looked very modern. It didn't look like
it could
the
have been in the middle of
places that
Manchester.
Zoe's just saying thank you, Paul and Carole, for your sponsorship. You're welcome, Zoe. Zoe's doing a walk for charity, so we sponsored her, so that's no problem at all. Lisa saying, making me nervous for our become maiden cruise with Silver Seas. Don't be. We've done another maiden cruise with Morella Voyager, and we didn't have the issues that we had with Cunard. No. But having done this, and what you pay, and what your expectations and stuff, you definitely have to lower them. So go there knowing or thinking that they're going to be problems. With a smaller ship like Silver Sea, you may well not get issues. You don't know, do you? It's a gamble.
You don't know.
It's like purchasing or booking a guaranteed cabin. It's always a gamble. You just never know where you're going to end up, or never going to know if things go to plan. This is a good point. Kevin B. Right then, as vloggers, do you get any benefit for the increase in fans from the different social media sites? Facebook, once you get to a certain level, and it's not clear what it is, then which is really bizarre. But if you've got a Facebook page that has got a lot of engagement, and you've got an engaged community around it, you'll be asked to join their monetization program. So that is one of the benefits. From an Instagram point of view, that doesn't happen in the UK, though it does in the US. I think the benefit, if we hadn't had or built our community up that we started 7 years ago on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, then we wouldn't be able to share all our videos to people. And they then the most valuable thing for us, if you follow us on our social media, is if we put something out, for you to share it then with your friends to say, look, if you're interested in cruising, watch these guys. And that's really valuable.
Even if you don't think they're interested. Just share them anyway,
because that helps us. So as vloggers, we do benefit from the increase in fans.
Any shares is a
any likes, comments.
We love it when people like, and so in order of helping us at the greasy pole that is being a travel vlogger, it goes like, and then like and comment, and then like, comment, and share.
Yeah.
And if you do the like, comment, and share. And it doesn't have to be an epistle to the Corinthians. It could just be a short, or that banana cake looked nice, whatever it might be. Just a comment, even if there's no bananas. I have bananas on the brain today.
Yeah,
it's because we were talking about the monkeys, wasn't it? But yeah, so like and comment, and share. If you do all of the like, comment, and share things, that's going to increase our reach. Yeah. And then what that does is it pushes stuff out further, because it's all down to, you start off and it goes into a little pot. And then once enough people has liked and comment on it, then Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, say, well, obviously that pot of people liked it, so let's now share it out to a slightly bigger, and then a slightly bigger, and then eventually the pot's as big as the world.
But if you share our things like on your stories or on your Facebook or things like that, then that's really, really helpful. So that's a great question, Kevin. So thank you very much. And I think on that point, isn't it, we can just say that we've had a really exciting May. We've just hit 7 million views on YouTube, which actually blows our minds.
We haven't just hit it. We hit it last week, but we forgot to tell you.
No, so 7 million views on YouTube, which when we started off, we just had no idea that it would head this way. So
It's a good job
you.
I was truthful, wasn't it? 'Cause I had the
Yeah,
date on there,
no, we did.
21st of May.
Yeah, we did. And we've just been talking about social media, and on Instagram, 7 years we've been posting on Instagram and yesterday we hit 10,000, which I'm really, really chuffed about, because that's been a long, long old slog, hasn't it, Paulie?
It has been.
So we reached. Oh, look how things covering it, but that does say 10,000.
You didn't think that through,
I didn't
did
think
you?
that through at all.
No.
So we've
got all this lovely area here.
Well, I thought it looks really pretty with the sun.
So what we're saying is we've hit 10,000.
We've just reached one follower on Instagram.
Yeah, yay!
Yeah, but we just reached 10,000, and that's been quite a huge thing, because Instagram is just for us. Other people grow quicker and stuff, but it's been sort of a slow and steady slog. And about a few weeks before, we hit 9,000 followers on Facebook as well. So our social media is very important, because it helps us promote our stuff. But what we love about our social media the most is the community. And we've got some fabulous communities and people that follow us. So thank you so much. Why have you got that
sticker in the top right-hand corner and the bottom right?
That's your T-shirt, you donut. Oh, dear. So let's get back to questions, which should in theory be in the same place, but it's not. It's moved, hasn't it? Well, I don't know, it has. So there's Kevin's question. So let's see what's next. Nikki's saying, don't tell Dave Webb. I've been looking at cruises to Greenland or Northern Lights. Have you done either? We've done Northern Lights, which was fantastic, so thoroughly recommend. I would love to do Greenland. Haven't done Iceland or Greenland yet, but they're on the bucket list.
Didn't we fly over Greenland on the way back from Japan?
We did. Yeah. We've had a very interesting route flying back from Japan, because normally when we've gone to the sort of Far East or Southeast Asia, we've always flown back the same way, haven't we, over Europe. But when we came from Japan, we actually went north, and we went actually over the top Arctic Circle and then back down of Greenland. We got some fantastic pictures, which I don't think we ever shared, did we?
No, they're not for sharing. It's not all about sharing stuff, honey. Oh, I just said it was.
Yeah,
I'll share that.
Right, so let's have a look. So Gordon said, right then, going on the first cruise next week on Cunard QE to Alaska. Is there an indoor pool or just the spa? On QE, they have the pool that's got the retractable roof, haven't they? Which is the pavilion pool. So I think you've got one that's under the retractable roof, isn't there? And there's the one that's at the back. So there's two pools.
There's one.
Yes.
Is it the garden lounge?
Garden lounge. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah.
So one's got a retractable roof. So yes, if you are going to Alaska, and obviously they've got a spa too. Jerry's here, so love to see Jerry. He's just had a couple of weeks on Arvia and hasn't come back very impressed. He's been telling us in our Discord and patrons. Beige is a good description of most of the service on Arvia. Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? P&O, it's efficient. You're not hanging around. We had no issues, but it's just bland and beige. So yeah, that's good.
I know maybe it's not good for business, but we've been on cruises, and like Cunard cruises, Morella cruises, other cruises as well, where when you get to know a member of staff and you see them on another cruise, they come up to you and you feel like you're friends, and they have a little chat to you, and it's like, oh, how's it been going, and what, because you know that they've got 2 kids, or they've got 1 kid and 1 on the way, and you know this and you know that, and you have a little chat to them and you think it's lovely. You don't ever get that on P&O.
Well, we haven't.
You could be, who are they? I don't know. They could be married, single. They could be a goat. In real
we
life.
haven't done a lot of P&O, so those that go regularly may be different. So Sean's just saying, question. Looking forward to meet up in Edinburgh, but need a few more for the Saturday night. Yeah, we've got a Patreon meetup, haven't we? Members meetup in Edinburgh, and obviously there's not many. We have got lots of followers there from Scotland. So yes, we'll have to drum up some business, Sean. But it'd be so good to catch up with yourself. So that'll be great. And Elaine, isn't it? Elaine's coming along too. Stella's asking, are you allowed to bring an extension lead for plugs on Morella? You're not allowed to take an extension lead on any ship because it's a fire hazard. So make sure you get a plug. Go to our Amazon store and it'll show you the types of plugs that we use that have got USBs and Cs in, so that you can charge multiple things at once. But yeah, if you take an extension lead and they find it, they confiscate them. Morris is saying, right then, last time on Aurora, we got to know some of the crew well, especially in the specialty restaurants. So yeah, Morris has done a lot more P&O than we have.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear, Morris. So thanks for that. Sherry said she can't wait to hear Carole sing. Oh my God, a short will be fine. Good luck on racing. That was a nice tribute to your friend. Yeah. So let's have a look.
I think Sherry's going to regret her decision to want to hear you singing.
I think she will. Michelle's asking, we have a 16-day cruise to Iceland booked, and we're booked for an inside cabin, which I'm nervous about being inside for that long. Anyone been on a long cruise inside cabin? We haven't. But if there's anyone in the comments that can help that.
Carole always says, oh, mate, we're booking inside.
I
We were
know.
just having a conversation about a cruise that we were going to do, but we're not going to do it now because it hasn't worked out about it's too many sea days, etc. But at the start of this process, Carole's like, no, we can do an inside cabin, mate. We can save a fortune. It'd be this, it'd be that, it'd be something else. This cruise started off at $5,600. By the time Carole had factored stuff in, it was £15,000, not dollars.
I know.
And it was like, oh, okay, well, that started off like a real cheap cruise. And now it's like...
There's a few things we want to tick off the bucket list, but they're just not working dates and itineraries in the ships. We were looking at doing a South Pacific and potentially Hawaii, but it's just... the ships aren't either the ships right and the itinerary. It was a 32-day cruise, but it only had 8 ports.
24
that's
sea
24
days.
Sea days. It's like, oh my gosh. So
in
now we're having a whole rethink.
Of course, it wasn't an inside cabin. By the time Carole had finished,
I was in a mini suite.
Dan had quoted us for the owner's suite.
No, yeah, but it's I just get a bit frustrated at the moment because I know what I want to do, but I can't put it's like a big jigsaw, isn't it? I can't get all the pieces to work. But there we are. I'm sure it will. So Neil engaging trains saying, right then, do you think Queen Anne will get problems sorted out? I'm sure they will. It's just going to take time. So that's
this is where Carole's reading, and she's really concentrating. So it seems like that maybe somebody's turned the switch off at the back, but she's still there.
No,
she's still, honestly, she's still there. Anyway, still there?
Yes. Gillian's asked a question. I understand you're on Royal Clipper in July. You've not mentioned it. We haven't. We will have to let you know what it's like as we go end of June. We have got a cruise booked on Royal Clipper, and we're very, very excited about it. Obviously, our patrons and YouTube members have known about it for a long time. And we are going in the summer. So, but more news about that, where we're going and how long we're on there for later on. Julie's asking, guys, question. We're off to Norway on Britannia tomorrow. In Oldham, do you recommend the troll car or Leon lift? We'll be booking it off the ship. Well, we haven't done either of those. With Oldham, we tend to get either hop-on, hop-off bus or the noddy train we've done.
Well, I think that's probably what is the troll car. I think.
Well, the troll cars are those different little buggies, aren't they? That I know you get them in Flam, so maybe we haven't seen them in Oldham.
That's not a troll car.
It
that's
is
electric things, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think they call them troll cars, like little bubble cars.
Yeah.
And the Leon Skylift we haven't done because I can't do heights. Low in.
Leon was he was a professional killer. Remember?
Yes, he was. Yes, I do remember that.
Come on, honey, come on.
I know.
I have to put the key in the back.
Fraser sees here, so he said, working us up the greasy Paul is such an accurate description of it feels times. It can be, because social media is a funny thing, isn't it? Sometimes you can put a post out and think, oh my God, that's gone really well. And then you look at it, you put another post out and it's had like 20 likes, which we should be grateful for every like.
But it's a bit like,
but it's like walking through treacle.
It's a bit like Donkey Kong, the early Donkey Kong. I don't know who remembers, but you're trying to get up them stairs and there's a great big ape throwing barrels at you. And sometimes they hit you right in the face.
Yes, I suppose that's a good.
And that's how it feels sometimes.
Sherry saying, congratulations on 7 reviews on YouTube and 10,000 on Instagram. Thank you so much. Let's have a look. Jonathan's asking, have you done a transatlantic on Arvia? If so, was it a partnership or quite sedate? We've done a transatlantic on Queen Mary 2, but we haven't done Arvia. And that was 7. We do love lots of days at sea.
We're going to have to do some P&O, more P&O stuff, mate. I think the majority of the questions seem to be P&O based. But we have got a P&O blog coming after Japan on the Aurora.
We do.
On the little Aurora.
So Sherry's saying for the 2025 group cruise, how far in advance can you book excursions? They're on sale now, Sherry. They're talking about in our Facebook group that we've got particularly for this cruise. So yeah, so they are on sale now. We're not planning to do any. We're going to self-explore, but we want to be obviously available on the ship a lot of the time for everyone.
Carol's going to be there. She's going to be available 24 hours a day, Carole, and I'll give you her personal phone number and everything.
Nick's asking, have you ever forgotten to pack anything that you needed, which made you go?
We went. It was water-based. We used to do little canal cruises in France with some great friends of ours, and I was a bit slimmer then, luckily, because when we got on there was 4 couples, and we unpacked everything. And as you will or will not know, when we do packing, I get out all the stuff. Carole says, right, get all your stuff out and stack it over there or on the bed or hang it up on the curtain pole or whatever. And then she packs it because I'm not qualified enough. It's not because I don't want to, because I think I do a great job, to be honest. But we unpacked everything. Now, bearing in mind, we're in the south of France and it's beautiful weather and I've got no shorts. And Carole said, well, I definitely packed them. We had a day of I definitely packed them, and then a day of it was probably my fault, and then a day of, oh, I don't know what's happened there, mate. And we got home and we walked into the bedroom and there was my 4 pairs of shorts stacked and folded neatly on the end of the bed.
Yeah, I don't know why I missed it. But yes, it was my fault.
So I had to wear Carole's skirts for the week.
Luckily, old Dickie and Bri, weren't they? They lent you a pair of shorts, so that was good. Because it wasn't like the places we're going were tiny. You didn't really do much shopping either.
You wouldn't get any shopping. And I mean, if it was now, I'd have to have Fatty Arbuckle's shorts. Well, that's a name for the past.
Striker just saying, some of you, well, you both are truly famous. You'll be getting your phone tapped next. Congratulations. Steve's here. So Life in the Parks. We're back on P&O in a couple of weeks. Hope the service will be more personable. Well, let us know.
Yes, do.
Karen's here. Karen Blake. So nice to see you. My aunt and uncle going on Queen Anne soon. Any top tips? Check out our vlog series because it's full of them. Because we could sit here for hours and we're aware that time's going on. But do check out our vlog series and it shows you exactly what you can and you can't do on Queen Anne. So
I like that. What you can't do. What can't you do then?
Dave Holland said, I made a friend with the bartender on the QM2. We added each other on Facebook and check in with each other ever so often. We've done that with one of the Cunard guys as well, Fonseca, haven't we? And we now follow him and he's at home with his family. And it's just lovely to see because you get to see you just see them all the time, don't you, on the ship? I totally agree, Dave.
What was funny about this guy, Fonseca, is the first time we met him, it was sort of COVID protocols were still in place.
Yes.
So he had a mask on the entire cruise.
Yes.
And then the last day, we said, oh, can we have a photo? And weirdly, if you spoke to any of the staff and you said you wanted a photo, they would take their mask off. So, were you okay to take my mask off? It's like, well, yeah, we don't want to get you into trouble because obviously we're going to be putting this picture out. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. And he took this picture off and he had a magnificent... He took his mask off and he had a magnificent beard that we didn't even know. So it was like a double surprise. But we have seen him 4 or 5 times since.
And he was on Transatlantic on Queen Mary again.
One of them ones, you know that he would be like, oh, so it's a glass of serving on block for you then, Carole, and a Thatcher's Go for you, Paul, with 5 pieces of ice.
Yes.
And he would know that.
And that's what you get, doesn't it, normally on Cunard? And yes, so... Claire, I've got my earplugs ready just in case when Carole sings.
Oh, you'll need them. I go double earplugs. I go inner ear ones and then the proper ear defenders, like you're working in a factory.
So people are saying that for you, a 10-night inside cabin on 71 was great. Elaine said she had a 14-night inside cabin on Iona. It was great. And Sean said as well, 14 nights inside cabin. It's right, isn't it? It depends what you like. The reason I tend to always go towards a balcony is because Paul likes to sleep and I want to be somewhere with a bit of fresh air, having a cup of coffee. I know I could go up on deck and I know I can walk out the cabin.
So stop being so selfish.
Let's have a look. What other questions we've got? Rhonda saying it's the surgery protection of extension cords that are the fire hazard. If you need to bring one, make sure it's cruise approved. But I know, how do you get something cruise approved? So I'll keep it in the packaging for proof. Okay.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
no,
look.
that's
So
a good tip.
you asked a question
so thank
halfway
you,
through,
Rhonda.
and then Rhonda is like, Rhonda's writing that out, and she's thinking to herself, I bet you halfway through that question, Carol's going to ask a question, so I'm going to answer it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and Salt is saying the troll car up the Glacier Oldham is brilliant. So, Jill and Sandra are asking, have we been on a rib boat in Norway? We've done 2, haven't we?
Well, I got, oh, no, sorry. Yes, we've done 2 fantastic, I went on a tangent now. We went on a rib boat in Australia that wasn't a rib boat. And they kept saying it was a rib boat, but it wasn't a rib boat because it was made of aluminium and there was no inflatableness about it at all. But they kept insisting it was a rib boat. And I was like, sorry, mate, I don't know whether they do things differently in Australia, but this is not a rib boat. It was still great fun and we saw lots of dolphins and stuff, didn't we? But yes, we've done 2 rib rides in Norway and one was spectacularly good and the other was fabulous. The one was better than the other.
Only because of the waves, and Paul loves the speed and going really mad.
I want to say something now.
I know what you're going to say, and I don't think you should.
I'm going to say it. The bloke, we had one rib boat ride had a man, and one rib boat ride had a lady. The man was like a typical man, like a boy racer, like a child, swerving all in and out, and woo, getting the weight going, and generally being a bit of a knob. But I thought it was great. With the lady, she still did a bit of that, but she made it more educational, and she was pointing out more stuff to us.
Yeah.
So
it was one was within a fjord, and one was actually going towards fjords, and we did get into a fjord. So we were out on the open water a bit more. That one was in Stavanger, which is, so if you go to Stavanger, get yourself on the rib rides because they're fantastic. And the one we did in Shoulden, or Skjolden, as I call it, is obviously because the waters are so calm there. It's like a pond, isn't it?
But it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Independently.
Yes, it is.
But don't rock up somewhere and say, oh, can we do a rib ride?
No.
If you go online and you search, it's called Norwegian Summit or other. It's Norwegian adventure boats or something it's called. If you Google it, you'll find.
Well,
get Claire to Google it.
No, what they need to do, Paul, is go to our website, and we've got a post all about.
Of course we have. We got a post all about it. I probably wrote it. Yeah,
you did.
I wrote a post all about it. Go on there. And you can book it independently before you go.
And it's a lot cheaper.
And it's half the money.
But make sure you book them early in the day. So you can get off and do it. And then that gives you time to make sure you get back to the ship.
So even if your rib boat has a flat tire, you haven't got to worry about getting back.
Exactly. So Frank and Jen from New Mexico. Lovely to see you guys. Hello, you lovely friends. How long did it take you to recover from jet lag coming back from the 7 weeks in Asia? It's taken me like a week to recover from our med cruise. It does. Coming back from Japan, wasn't it? It took me about 10 days. You were all right, weren't you? You had about 3 or 4 days where you were really sleepy. But I really struggled this time.
I didn't have time to be sleepy. Got stuff to do.
But yeah, it is one of those, sadly, one of those things. But with jet lag, it's not much fun, is it? So Jackie's asking, hi both. Carole, I suffer with fear of heights too, which I meant I didn't go on the skylift in Norway with my daughters. How do you cope on the top decks of the big ships? See, I don't find that too much of a problem. Sometimes if I look down, I'm like, ooh, but because I've got a rail and I feel quite safe, it doesn't really bother me.
No, you've never.
So I've never had that issue. No. So sometimes I do look and I just stand back a little bit, but no, it's not been
a problem.
Let's have a look. So Adrian's saying as well, we've been on P&O various cruises and had lovely stuff on every cruise. So that's great. So that's good to hear.
Maybe they just don't want to speak to us.
Maybe they don't.
No. So there's them two idiots from bloody Forest Dean over there. Don't want to speak
exactly. To so let's see. My aunt and uncle booked a cabin under a bar on Queen Anne. Do you think it's going to be noisy? Yes. You just don't know. And, if you book a cabin, that's the thing with a guaranteed cabin. You'll get put somewhere that you don't, maybe it's not a cabin that people tend to choose. So we tend to book, it does cost more, but book a specific cabin so we can see there's cabins all around us on the deck plan so that we know that the only noise that we can potentially get is from neighbours. And also be wary of having a cabin that's got an adjoining door because that can sometimes make it not so soundproof. So it depends on what bar it is. And because most bars, actually, to be fair, on Queen Anne, finish around about midnight, but the casino bar and bright lights don't.
Yeah.
They go on to like
They
3
go
in the
on till
morning.
3 in the morning. But
So
if
it
it's
depends where it is.
But if it's one of the outside bars, they shut at 6 in the evening, so they got nothing to worry about.
Well, it's supposed to open on the program when we said about the Sky Bar and the what was the name of the place at the back? Oh, the Cabana.
Cabana.
Actually, the program said it should be open from something to 6, no, something to 4, and then 8 till 10. It was very bizarre, wasn't it? But that wasn't the case at all anyway. Judy's asking, have you ever vacationed on an arrowboat? So hopefully you've heard what we said before. Yes, we used to do a lot around.
But it wasn't
a
proper traditional
canal boat.
It was a canal boat,
It was a
but
cruiser.
it was
Yeah. So I just seen a. Carrie and Mike just popped in. So I love to see you guys. Crazy days here in the West WA state. As family arriving with someone's wedding on Sunday. Just want to pop and say hi. Oh, I hope the wedding goes fabulously well. So Corin's asking an interesting question. Right then, what would be your ideal cruise line combination? Mine is P&O prices on an Azamara cruise.
I'd like P&O prices, but I'd still like to, even though I'll probably be grumpy Paul and have lots of rants, I still want to go on one of them big old Royal Caribbean ships, but again at P&O prices.
Yeah.
And it's something that we definitely need to tick off our. We done Anthem, but we were only on there for 4 days. But
we definitely want to do another one, don't we?
Whatever they're called.
Oasis class, or Oasis Plus, actually. Tracy and I both going on Queen Anne at the end of August. Recommend those things we should do. Check out our vlog series because it's all on there. But definitely get yourself to the Bright Lights Society.
Yeah. And of course, that's another thing that when we were talking about Queen Anne just now, we were with some great people, and to be fair, we could have been sat in a wet owl in the middle of the forest, and we'd have still had a good time because we were with such fabulous people. So we did have a good time, but there was issues. But I'm already thinking of an issue, a future issue, is like there was a film with Tom Cruise in where he would get people for crimes they hadn't even committed. Now I need that sort of sixth sense to know.
Going with this?
I'm going to get there in a minute. I'm going all around the woods to get there. But the Bright Light Society do different shows, but they do the same show for the whole week. So how disappointed am I going to be when we go back on Queen Anne, which we will go back on, and it's the same show? Will you be able to find out? Will that be part of the booking process? Right, I want to go on the 7th of August. What show is on at the Bright Lights that week? Ooh, because I know with P&O, like with Iona, they've got the little club thing where they have guest artists which you have to book and pay for.
Gary Barlow Bar.
No, not Gary Barlow Bar. The one where
Limelight.
Limelight. So they got the Limelight Club, and obviously you know who's going to be on there because you can book it. Is that going to be the same? Am I just making a problem that isn't there? Is that going to be the same on Queen Anne? Will you know in a year's time what show is going to be?
Yeah, that's a good point. But you don't, do you?
Well,
you don't get told that on any other cruise about entertainment.
Well, you do with Limelight because you have to book it.
Yes, because you have to book it. But yes, actually, if it is payable, possibly. Yeah. Tina's also saying we've been on Ventura 7 times the last time we went into the bar. The waiter welcomes back using our name. Well, that's great to hear. Commodore Steve is asking, right then, did you get to try cheese toast in the queue? No, because we got to pay. There were 3 payable items on the Golden Lion, and we're gutted that they're starting to nickel and dime a bit, Cunard, which they never really used to do. But they've got 3 chargeable items on their menu. One is the cheese toasty, 3 cheese toasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
The burger. And also was it a vegan burger or a veggie burger?
No, a vegan burger.
I think it's vegan.
Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Not always.
Oh, okay. Oh no, it's not.
So so we thought we're not paying extra for a blimmin' cheese sandwich.
Toast. And you can pay $11.50 or $12 for a burger in the Golden Lion, or you can go out onto the Lido thingy, the inside place. What's it called? That was the Lido, wasn't it? Pavilion. And they got a burger bar there. So why would you go and pay $11.50, $12 in the pub when you go and get one FOC made fresh to order as well? 3-minute walk away. I just don't get it. Oh, well, I do get it. It's because it's by what's his face, the chef, isn't it? What's his name?
Well, it's Michelle Roux. They've got to pay him somehow,
Michelle
haven't
Roux
they?
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank and Jane just saying, have you started booking up excursions for the group? Hopefully you heard what we were talking about with that. We haven't, but some people are. So Gillian said she's noticed that P&O balcony prices have gone up. Everything's going up, isn't it? It's a bit frustrating. So Jim and Dwayne are here. So let's see, you guys, have you gone on a ship and looked for a particular member of staff you met on a previous cruise? We'll be looking for the same staff when we go back on Sky Princess. We did on Queen Anne, didn't we? We went looking for a guy called Romy. Rommel, but he likes to be called Romy, and he was a fantastic. We've seen him twice now, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we went to see if he was around, and we found him.
But he'd been drafted off Elizabeth
or Victoria.
One of them.
Yeah.
Minority Report, like Dave Webb's all over that. Look. He knows. That's where my round the houses was going.
Minority Report.
Minority Report. And it's a film, and they got these people. I'm going to break it down to a simplifier. You've got these people sat in a bath, all tubes coming out of them, and they can predict in 3 days' time, Mr. Smith from 4 Acacia Avenue is going to murder his wife. So what they do is they go around there and they arrest him before he does it, but he still gets charged with murder. It's actually a better film than I've made it sound, but it's really good. Have you not seen it?
No. Well,
I think Samantha Morton is one of the people who lies in the bath with the tubes coming out of her, who predicts the future crimes.
Corinne's saying Ant and Glenn are posting vlogs on the big raw ships. They're too big for me. They've got, so if you don't know Ant and Glenn, they're the lovely, funny couple of guys. So make sure you check them out. So, and yes, they have.
They are. I'm not arguing with the talker, and they are absolutely humongous. But I want to experience. Like when you do, like, I mean, MSC got some big ships, but you may or may not realize that I'm not an MSC fan. And to me, it's just even more chaos. And we've heard stories of like 2-hour queues to go into dining rooms and that sort of stuff. And they try to be all things to all people. So instead of just saying, right, this is what we're doing and sticking to it, they try to pander to everybody, which means it's all a bit rubbish. Whereas with Royal Caribbean, what you get is what you get, and it's usually very good with the shows and the food and whatever. But I know Ant and Glenn has said that the buffets, we did the buffet on Anthem, and we thought it was one of the best
Windjammer,
one of the best buffets we've ever been in.
Yeah,
but apparently they're cutting back on that sort of stuff now, so it'd be interesting to see. But I know that at least you're going to know with the entertainment, specialty dining. But somebody was saying the other day they did specialty dining, and it was like $120 or something. It's bananas.
Yeah, it is. If you've got any more questions, make sure you pop them in the comments there. So we've got a few more minutes to be going on with. So let's have a look. Grant Taylor saying, I went on an MSC 2-night from Southampton the weekend. It was chaos. I've always cruised with Morella. Our MSC's always like this on a long cruise. Yes. I think, well...
Was that just by chance, that question?
I don't know. I think if you go on a 2, depends on the ship, totally, because we just did a 3-night on Aurora, and obviously it did attract, we were told, a lot younger clientele that Aurora would have on their longer cruise. I think with MSC, with 2-nighters, if you do that on Celebrity or MSC, you are going to get the hen parties, the stag parties, and that's so it's going to be a very, very different experience from a longer one. Our experience on MSC is that it's quite chaotic a lot of the time. It's not our favourite cruise line, to be fair.
MSC stands for, the C stands for chaos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the M&F is.
So, well, let's see. So Tina's saying, we've been on Britannia before. I'm back on her in September. We found it's been a very different feel to Iona, which we thought was very impersonal. We want to get on Britannia because it's a very popular ship, like Aurora. We're so glad we went on Aurora because that's a fantastic ship. So we would definitely like to try Britannia in the future. So maybe we do need to do more P&O. And Rhonda's saying, yes, would be a good idea for cruise lines to release a schedule subject to change, entertainment out a year or so. No guarantee, but at least an idea. But yeah, I don't know how far in advance they book their entertainers and stuff. No. But from a staple thing, I can see why they wouldn't be able to announce guest entertainers, but from their standard shows and their standard entertainment that's part of that, like Queen Anne, we know that you're going to have the theatre, you're going to have bright lights.
You would think that regardless of the changing, because obviously you'll have changing theatre companies, and you'll have probably checked, because we met one of the ladies from Bright Light. She was lovely, wasn't she?
She was.
and it's a 5-piece, but they're just so slick, and it was just fabulous, the show we saw. Now they're not going to be on there until they're 475 and die of old age. So obviously there's going to be new teams going on to replace them for X amount of months. Now you'd like to think that they're going to do the same shows, or maybe after 12 months they think, right, we're going to mix it up now and have new shows. But they've got 4 shows they're going to have. So it'd be nice to go on there and not be the same one.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Cruise with Molly just saying, my friend did a tour at MSC and it was full of head and stag night and drunk fights, dreadful. Yeah, so it's if you go on the shorter cruises, it is more of a party cruise. And they're so cheap. Particularly MSC is so cheap. You know, you can get on there for under 200 quid, can't you? Sometimes 150 quid. So Gareth's asking, wait then, question, what is your next few cruises, and would you consider coming to South Africa and Cape Town? Do you know, we've said that we've got hopefully a press trip coming up, and we've got Royal Club coming up, and we've also got Celebrity. So that's our cruises coming up. We'd love to get to South Africa at some point, wouldn't we? But we've not got anything booked as yet. So Craig saying, hi guys, love your vlogs. We're going on the first Morella cruise in September. See, we want to go on another Morella, and it's fitting everything in. We're watching your vlogs for the second time now. Love your presentation, and you're both a lovely couple. Oh, thank you so much.
Who's the loveliest, sir?
Oh, that's pressure. You don't say that. That's not fair.
I know which way that's going to go.
Yes. So Andy and Carla saying MSC is always a bit chaotic at every port. Yes, that's a really good point, Andy and Carla, because they have people coming on and off at every port, because you can embark and disembark, which is a bonus from booking a cruise point of view if you want to start and finish at particular ports. However, for those on it, and the announcements used to drive us insane because it was just done in so many languages.
Well, Emma went on one. And she said they stopped at a port in France and about 700 French people got on. And the show that night was all in French. So that's great then, mate. There's like 6,000 people on here. 700 of them are French. Tonight's show's for them. So and that's why they need, and that's going back to Queen Anne. Queen Anne at the minute, she's a ship that doesn't know who she wants to be. She wants to be Queen Mother. She wants to be modern. Already they're backpedaling on like the Queen's Room thing with a big band. So you either got to go all in and say, unfortunately, the Mr. and Mrs. Cunard, if you're expecting this, this, and this, then you need to go on the other 3 ships, because this is how we're going to move forward with this particular ship. But it already seems to me like they've already got a bit wishy-washy and a bit backpedally. And so
it's all going to be demand, isn't it?
Yeah,
are people going to book Queen Anne in the future? And if they see sales dropping, they're gonna have to adapt to what people want to sail on that. But then
how they've designed that ship is, like I said, the big thing for me. People asked us before we went on Queen Anne, what is the things you're looking forward to the most? And I said the 2 things that I'm looking forward to, which is always can be a bone of contention, was the pub, because getting in there and they're not really big enough. The Queen Mary 2 pub's rubbish, and even Stephen Payne said that. He said, "I'm sorry about that, but that's how it works."
It's just a T, isn't it? It's the wrong shape.
It's just not a conducive shape, and you can't get many people in there. So the pub on Queen Anne, absolutely fabulous. They've made it humongous.
It's really good.
They still do the food, which you can get, apart from the few items which you just steer clear of them. There's loads of free stuff on there, and the food's always really good. So that was a big tick for me. But when I walked through the Queen's Room, it was the most disappointed I was of the whole ship, of how disappointing that Queen's Room is. Now, if they're going to backpedal and try and make it like the other ships now, they can't, because it's too small. They can't make it bigger. So the stage is too small, the dance floor is too small, the whole Queen's Room
not enough seats
is too small.
But they can put more seats in.
They can put more seats in, but it's not going to make it any bigger.
And we couldn't. It's hard when there's entertainment there. You can't get in there, can you?
No.
Just because of the. But anyway,
there was a couple of times we wanted to go in there,
and you just couldn't.
And you couldn't physically
even
get a seat.
the standing room only.
Yeah, and you don't want to be stood up for an hour.
Kevin B saying, on an Oasis class, try and stay between deck 6 and 8 so not to need elevators all the time. Yeah, good point. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Lots of people saying that they're not MSC fans. And Frank and Jen are saying the Aqua Show on the OSCs was incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to get on one with does all that and see it, because we've not done that yet.
Just to see it first. Like I said, we might do it and it might be a one and done. We might do it and think, oh my God. But of course, at the moment, Royal Caribbean prices are bananas. Bananas again. Bananas. And the drinks packages are absolutely ridiculous how much the drinks are on there. So it's one of them ones where it might be, Dan, keep your eye out for a lastminute.com on whatever it is of the seas so we can experience that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something I want to do.
Alice also said she's been back on Britannia. I'm going back on Britannia next year, but always found the staff brilliant, great service. Lots of people saying the MSC. Oh, Steve said had pork pies and Scotch eggs last week.
Shut up.
The Scotch eggs on Cunard in the pub were spectacular. They were a haddock one, which sounds absolutely bizarre, and a falafel one. We didn't know that we liked falafel, but we do.
Falafel was nice.
And the haddock one, you said it was like eating fish pie.
It was fabulous. It was spectacular.
So Joe's saying MSC differ from ships and ports. We did MSC World Europa Arabian Gulf, and it's one of the best cruises to date. NCL were far worse than our other not so great MSC cruise. Yeah, so it depends on the ship. It depends on ship itinerary. So it's.
But we've only done 2 MSC cruises, and the first one was awful, and the second one was terrible. So they're consistent.
So let's have a look. Grazie, thank you for a great show. Have a great weekend. We will.
Cheers, Grant.
Paul is off to racing, and I'm, like I said earlier, gardening. Let's have a look. Everyone's the dog or the pig on your bed. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Morella. We had a huge argument, didn't we, on Morella?
It wasn't. It was a debate. We never have huge arguments.
But I said dog. You said pig, didn't you? Or was it the other way around now?
I'm sure I said dog, but I don't know.
Is it true that Discovery 2 is going to dry dock this winter? Do you know? We don't. But it'd be interesting to... So if anyone does know that, please do let us know. Craig's always asking, would we ever do or have you done a Disney cruise? No, we're not planning to. They're too expensive. If they were a better price, you think, do you know what? To try one on there would be great. Because apparently they do have some really good adult-only areas. But it's just we can't justify the expense. So, worst hotel you've stayed in? Paul, worst hotel you stayed in, Carole?
Worst hotel I stayed in was the actually no, I'm already backpedaling. I was gonna say it's called the Magic Rock in Benidorm. That was easily the worst.
Well, that you said one now, because I think I'm going to say the same one.
Because you're going to say the same one as me, aren't you? Which is where?
Within Egypt.
Oh no, I can think of one worse than that.
Oh.
What was it? What was that hotel we stayed in across from Dover?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, the one that looks like a ship in Folkestone. That was scary.
Yeah. So you're going to go your one in Egypt, and I'm going to go for the Magic Rock in Benidorm.
And I can't think of the name of the one in Egypt.
But as our joker, it was called the Three Corners or something. It was 3 somethings.
No, it wasn't.
But it was rubbish anyway.
Well, yeah, anything about Egypt, that hotel, it was a disastrous holiday. Yeah. And we vowed that's what's put totally off Egypt. And you close the door, the number fell off. It was that sort of holiday, wasn't it? So, but that's a great question. So let's have a look. So see, Steve says there are plenty of drinks packages on Raw. We paid £56 per person per night. That's great because we never see them.
What annoys me, my lovely American friends, you always see when you follow the Facebook pages, and it's like, oh, quick, get onto your cruise planner because they're having a Black Friday sale on the drinks packages. And I just bought the top package for $13 a day. And I go on there and it's 120. So it's like the last one we did, when we did Anthem, it started off, it was $120 a day per person for the drinks package. But the trouble is, that they don't quibble. There's no like, oh, you've had 10 drinks today, you've had 15 drinks, you've had 900 drinks, and you can have whatever you want. It's not like, oh, you can't have that bourbon, but you can have that bourbon. You can have whatever you want. There's no exclusions virtually across the board. We got that down in the end to £80 a day per person per day, which is the dearest drinks package we've ever purchased.
But the drinks are so expensive.
But the drinks are really expensive. But when you go up there, and when you know, I remember the first time we did Royal Caribbean, and I said, "Oh, can I have a bourbon and Diet Coke?" And they said, "What bourbon would you like?" And I said, "What bourbon have you got?" And about 20 minutes later, it stopped naming bourbons. And then I said to him, "What was the first one you said again?" He said, "Maker's Mark." And I said, "No, I'll tell you what it was.
Gentleman's Jack."
No, it wasn't, because I had to have it for comedy value.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Knob Creek.
Exactly.
So I said, I'll have a Knob Creek.
So Blind Man Cruising asked a good, right? Did Paul roll his cheese down Cooper's Hill? Now, for those of you that don't know, in Gloucestershire, where we live, and in Gloucester particularly, there's a hill called Cooper's Hill. And every bank holiday, which was obviously...
Not every bank holiday.
No,
this May
bank holiday, which I was going to say. This is May bank holiday. They push a big, what do you call it? Wheel of cheese. Wheel of cheese. And people run down this hill. And this hill is nearly vertical.
Yeah, it's like going down
There's ambulances waiting at the bottom.
Yeah. What they usually do is they recruit a local rugby team, and this rugby team forms like a human wall at the bottom, so they don't keep going and into the crowd and kill people. Yeah. And then they're like linked arms to catch these people. But crazily, people come from all over the world to do it, to break their legs and arms and ribs and all sorts. But the prize is £1 million.
No, it's not.
It's not. The prize is the cheese.
Yes.
You win the cheese.
Mad. So Google cheese rolling in Gloucestershire and have a look at it. Because I've been there to watch it once, but I was in the crowd about halfway up the hill, and it is quite scary how vertical it is. And the cheese actually came off into the crowd and hit a few people. Thankfully, they were fine, but I never went back.
Yeah. The cheese hit this one girl. She was in a right pickle.
Yes. Oh, dear. Kate and Dave saying, I think Carole would like Captain Canby on Arvia. I do like Captain Canby because he was one of our captains. I must have been on one of the Iona cruises because he's very dishy, isn't he? Do you remember him? I do. So you're right.
Me, not so much. I don't remember.
And Gillian's saying they've put Discovery to a Palma this winter, now shown on the Marella site. So maybe it's not then. So J&M Travels, and do you recommend the Ibis Hotel in Portsmouth? We stayed in an Ibis in Portsmouth. Go to our website and go to our hotel section and Portsmouth and England hotels. And we've got a post about, we've stayed in about 3, I think, now in Portsmouth. So go and check that out because there's a couple of Ibises in Portsmouth and you'll see which one we stayed in. So that's good.
It wasn't bad as I recall.
No, it was good. Oh. All the hotels we stayed in, we stayed in Holiday Inn as well there, which was good. Yeah. Joe's got a lot of knowledge here tonight. And he discovered 2 as a couple of sailings out of Malaga, and then a short dry dock, then repositioned to Gran Canaria for Canary season until summer next year.
What does Joe do for a living? Is he like head of Marella operations?
I don't know. Oh, right. Let's have a look to see if we've got any other questions. So Jane Bullockson, hi Paul, can I stand up for Egypt? I had a fabulous tour on holiday there in November. Hope you go back and have a better holiday one day. I don't think we will. No. But thanks. I understand that people go and have a great time.
If everybody had shared our opinion, nobody would go there. But I thought it was truly horrible. The hotel was horrible. The food was terrible. The locals were
totally unfriendly
totally unfriendly,
very inappropriate with my 3 young nieces. So it was quite a scary holiday. It was horrible. We couldn't wait to get out of there.
Oh, and then our plane was delayed for 6 hours to fly home.
Dave said that it must be a great experience. Oh, Nick's saying he's done it. I've done the cheese rollers. Really? Have you got any photographic evidence? You must share it in Discord. Do you believe you can get a good hotel for under £50 a night? Very rare these days, isn't it? Mm. So,
well, you listen to Lenny Henry, and he says you can get one for about 32 quid, can you? Like Premier Inn, but we've never seen one yet.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just looking at the time. It's nearly 1:15. No. So I just want to say thanks to everyone that's joined us. There's more comments coming in. Just watch your Alaska cruise. It's definitely on my list. Yes, Alaska is amazing. So
it's on our list as well.
But yeah, we want to go back. We want to go back to Canada. We want to go back to Alaska. But Canada is probably one of our favorite countries.
Things we haven't done yet. We already want to go back and do other stuff. I know.
But anyway, it's time to tick in. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. It's fun as always. Hopefully we've answered your questions. You've learned something new. If not, join us next week. We're back to Thursdays, isn't it? For quite a few weeks now because of not being away. So join us next Thursday for another live, and we can make sure you bring your questions. And it's been lovely to see you.
I'm trying to come on, give me some fireworks.
Oh, I don't think you will.
Oh.